I just don't know, Lil. I don't know why I haven't heard anybody talking about it, but it's a game changer.
Hey everyone, I'm Renee, and today on Tater Town, I'd like to talk with you about maintenance-free chicken water systems. Now, I have a background in research and development as a physicist, and I choose to spend my time taking care of all the animals and plants, all the things that I'm passionate about with that approach, right? Then. He's being cute. So instead of working in a lab, I put all the knowledge I have into what makes me happy. And that includes music, which is actually what I do full time now. What? Who does that? Science career to music? Actually, I went from music to physics back to music because that's how my brain works. Anyway, I really wanted to become a marine biologist, but that's a whole other story as to why I didn't take that path. Anyway, back to chicken water. Between research and trial and error, I came up with a really great setup for me. But of course, I'm always tweaking, so I'm sure at some point what I have now may change a bit, but I'll keep you posted. If anybody ever tells you that something is completely maintenance-free, well, you should just walk away. Because there's nothing that is ever without some sort of upkeep or maintenance. It just depends on how much time and effort you're going to have to put into doing it. But there's always going to be something you're going to have to do, and that goes for chicken water. Now, I know there's some of you, because I was doing the same thing, especially if you're just starting out, you probably have these wonderful water founts that you've got to clean maybe several times a day. And that's because chickens love to get their feet in it, poop in it, get dirt in it. So you have to empty and or clean it maybe 3 or 4 times a day. Then you might have a bucket with water nipples. And those are great because it keeps the chickens and the nasty stuff out of the water. Whatever container you put it in, you still need to clean it out every few days because the water develops algae and bacteria, especially in the warmer weather. Then there are ways to make it even easier, and that's what I want to show you today. I absolutely love hanging out with my chickens. They're funny, they're cute, and they all have such distinct personalities. And I'd rather be enjoying my time with them than constantly cleaning or checking their water to make sure they're getting what they need. It's not that I don't check, I do. I just don't have to do it as often as I normally would. Really, at this point, I'm just making sure everything's working as it should. And that's super important to me for 2 reasons. One, I have physical and neurological issues that make it difficult for me to lift heavy things or move things around. And carrying buckets full of water in and out of the run was really starting to wear on me. Plus, it was really annoying doing it multiple times a week. And 2, as a songwriter and musician, sometimes I'm gone for days or weeks at a time, and I really needed something that would allow someone to easily take care of the chickens without really having to think about it, or that would take too much time since the chores list gets bigger for everyone else when I'm not here. So after doing a bunch of research, what I have is a water barrel that pumps water into a PVC pipe with watering nipples, and then the water returns back to the barrel. I chose to use a used 15-gallon whiskey barrel from a local distillery, but you can use whatever container you like. And my lord, does it smell like whiskey. But it's clean, I promise. No drunk chickens. Drunk chickens, at least that I know of. I initially used a 50-gallon barrel, but that was a terrible idea. A great idea at first until I started having to move it around, and it was just a bad idea. So I got the smaller 15-gallon barrel, which is super awesome and so much easier to handle. The barrel empties into a small particle filter, then to a fountain, pump, and you can use that both submersibly or inline. And I do use it both ways. Then that feeds the PVC tubing and pushes the water at the other side back into the tank. And this way the water is constantly moving and getting oxygenated. And initially I had a 3-stage water filter. Yeah, I know I can get a little overboard, but I can't help it. And I have bougie chickens, as you can see. Everything was fantastic once I got it all up and running. But I noticed around the 2-week mark, I kept getting a sludgy gel-like substance that was clogging the filters and lining the inside of the tank. It was a mess. The water smelled awful, and it wasn't clear at all. It was really dark and obscured. Even with everything I was doing, I was still getting biofilm fairly soon after cleaning the barrel and adding fresh water. I was so disappointed because the whole point was to have this lower maintenance system. So I went back to the drawing board. I removed the 3-stage filter system because it was getting so bad that water wasn't even flowing through it. I tried a recommended water treatment. That didn't work. I then came across documentation on water acidifiers, so that's where I started. I found some really great products, but it was like I had to buy a massive amount because they didn't come in sizes for a backyard flock. They were all geared to large farming operations. So I started there, and I did more research into the ingredients and found some studies on organic acids in chicken water. So not only do acidifiers help reduce the bacteria load in the water, I also found out that chickens prefer slightly acidic water, and it's really good for their digestive system, and it helps with food and nutrient conversion. But I have to stress, slightly acidic water. Too much acid, and it can actually harm them. Now, I opted for citric acid, which I already had on hand for cleaning the barrel, so I bought a pH tester and got to work. Ideally, I like to keep the pH close to 6, but I'm okay if it's as low as 5.5 for a short period of time. During this time, I also thought about getting a UV light, like the ones that you put under your sink for drinking water. But that wasn't exactly what I was looking for, because the only time that kills bacteria is when the water moves through the filter past the light. What I really wanted was something that would keep the water in the barrel treated. And again, I found some really cool products if I had 10,000 gallons to treat, not 15. So I decided for less than 20 bucks to try a UVC light for aquariums. Ideally, I'd let it hang out in the water in the tank, but since it's not marketed for drinking water, I decided to mount it on the underside of the lid to shine into the barrel. Of course, I did cut an area in the lid for both the lights cord and also for a trough heater in the winter. I do need to add a word of caution. Make sure you and your chickens, or any animal for that matter, aren't exposed to the light, as it can cause eye damage. So keep it completely contained in whatever you use to hold the water. I also went with LEDs versus a traditional bulb, so I'd have less of a mess if the lamp had broken into the water. And you know what? I haven't had any issues. I still do a cleaning at about 1 to 1.5 months, but the water still smells like whiskey. I mean, clean, and it's always clear. And because I'm a bit lazy, I built a duplicate setup, minus the barrel, so I can simply remove the old water bar pump and hoses and put the new ones in. I then use a 5-gallon water bucket as a temporary source till the barrel is clean, and that way I don't have to clean the dirty setup right away. I can do it whenever I have the time. So this is one way to have a fairly low maintenance water for your chickens. My sincere wish is to help you find your best way to do things, and to also learn from you, for me to learn from you. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, or if you'd like to see a video on how I put my system together. And thank you again for taking your time and joining me in Tater Town. And now I'm gonna go hang out with my chicks.